with PhoneDog.com. You know, if you read my first impressions of the Dell Aero smartphone with AT&T, you know, I didn't care for it too much. I think the build quality is a little bit lacking on the Dell side, and then on the software side, both being Android 1.5 and the fact that Dell chose to install a custom user skin, I think it's a little bit lacking there as well. So, you know, you look at it, you say it's a mid-range device. For $299, I can get the Palm Pre Plus for the same retail price, and it puts me right in that range in terms of full retail, near the Aria, a couple of other AT&T backflip, a couple of other AT&T mid-range devices. So the question becomes, just because it's a mid-range Android smartphone, does it have to be cheap? Does it have to be running the oldest version of Android? While we're in social networking, let's jump over to media and have a look at the camera. This was the one thing, you know, I was pretty unimpressed with this device, but the one thing I will give them credit on, the camera is pretty decent. It's a 5-megapixel camera with a flash, and picture quality, you know, came out pretty well. So let's take a picture of the box, for example, which I happen to have right here. You can see the menu, a couple of different editing options on the side. We'll take a look. Let me jump down here. And we'll take another one. Zoom in. So, you know, picture quality is not terrible for a 5-megapixel device. And that was the one thing, you know, honestly, when I looked at the device, where I looked at it and said, you know, this isn't bad. The camera's not bad at all. So, 5-megapixel option there. We'll have a look. I know I'm jumping around here a bit, but let's have a quick look at the phone app, phone menu, if you will. Typical numbers, nice and big, along with contacts, call log, and favorite shortcuts right above. So you can see there, and it'll match any contacts I have on file. And you look at that, you know, speed dial settings, show number, hide number, and we can go back to home. Now, you know, one of the frustrations, you know, it was always so easy through the Gmail app to sync your calendar or sync your contacts. Not that it's not, you know, not that it's incredibly hard to do it through a POP3 and IMAP solution, but still, it's going to be a point of frustration for some. We can look through the contacts menu here and have a look at AT&T Music ID, for example. Picture, you know, work phone, send message directly from the contacts list. You have a couple of options there, so you can see it's a modified contacts list. In fact, almost every app on this phone is modified pretty extensively. And it looks, you know, from here you can tell, actually looks a lot to me, and one of the first, and I know some of the other reviewers have said this as well, but one of the first thoughts I had was, it looks a lot like a feature phone. It doesn't look like a fully featured smartphone user interface. It's like they've tried to market it to feature phone users that want something a little better, but don't quite want a smartphone, but at the end they're still going to pay smartphone data rates for it, but, you know, yada, yada, yada. Whatever reason, it just feels like feels like a feature phone user interface, some sort of a combination between feature phone and smartphone. Let's have a look at the browser. It loads by default to AT&T's My Yahoo page. As it loads, load. There we go. Look at it from landscape. You know, again, it's a 3.5-inch screen, so it's the same screen size as the iPhone. Definitely in terms of color density, you know, not as high. But a reasonable, you know, for a $299 full retail price point, $99 on contract, it's definitely a decent color screen. You can pinch to zoom in, pinch to zoom out. Though when I was doing it earlier, there was a little bit of lag. Let's see if I can duplicate. See? I mean, you're seeing it on camera right now. It's definitely a little laggy there as well. So let's try PhoneDog, for example, and see what it does. PhoneDog, lost the keyboard, PhoneDog.com. And we'll watch it load. And you can see that the icons at the top are a little bit different. Battery life indicator. I mean, it looks relatively, the clock looks relatively similar to Android, but the 3G icon, the signal strength indicator, a little bit different. Let's get the sucker to load. PhoneDog.com. The best PB for your J. Huh. Best peanut butter for your peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That actually sounds good. I haven't had lunch yet. I think I'm going to eat one of those. And I think I have some peanut butter. So we'll see what happens there. You can see PhoneDog's loading. There's our logo. Turn it to the side. zoom in and out. So, you know, the lag would frustrate me over extended use, as I have a tendency to browse on my phone a lot. If you don't use it that often, or you're buying this for a family member that doesn't use the internet that often, they may be okay with it. But still, you know, I keep going back to this. You're paying $99 for a smartphone. There are other options on AT&T that are around that price point that do so much better in this department. And I mean, in terms of, you know, all across the board, Android, web browser. You know, so my question would be, unless you just absolutely love this design or absolutely love how lightweight it is or how it looks, you know, I just can't see it being a huge hit when there's other stuff in the same price range that has a tendency to work much better. Anyway, you can see. I mean, you're seeing on camera the lag. So that's there. A little bit of a frustration when using the browser. So let's have a look at the phone app as well. You know, since, hey, it's a smartphone, the most important part still, I mean, I don't know if it is that way in today's world anymore, but, you know, it used to be the most important part of a phone was to make phone calls. So let's have a look. You know, overall in my testing, I've been pretty pleased with the call quality. It was decent. Earpiece is a little bit low for my liking, but then again, you know, I'm coming from getting used to the Samsung Galaxy S devices and other, you know, the Motorola Droid X and these devices that are just loud out of the box. So, you know, that may be it, but it just seemed a little low for my liking. Speakerphone was decent. We'll call 611, for example. Just get an idea. I will throw it on speaker. You can see the menu when you dial. Mute, speaker, hold, and keypad options.
Thank you for calling AT&T about your wireless service. Oprima el asterisco para información en español.
So you can see, you know, reasonably loud there. Other than that, nice and big. Numbers with shortcut keys at the top, contacts, call log, and favorites. Additionally, you get a big redial button, and then show number, hide number options. When you're done, you can either press and slide to home that way or hit the back button. And one final thing before we go, let's have a look at the settings. You can see the connection manager, you know, very different versus the typical Android settings setup. Say that fast, setting setup. You can see network related stuff. It's grouped by phone basics, applications, etc. And those are there. So, you know, look, it's pretty organized, and it's nice because it gives you at the bottom, it gives you something like set up voicemail, call forwarding. It gives you a little snippet of what's in that particular folder, what's in that particular extension. So that's nice there. And then, of course, shortcut buttons to turn on Bluetooth and to turn on Wi-Fi. So, you know, not terribly bad on that front. But that's the Dell Aero with AT&T. It's available through Dell now for $299 full retail, or $99 if you purchase it with a 2-year agreement. It'll be available in the coming weeks on AT&T and in AT&T retail stores. So, you know, in a nutshell, for me, you know, I've said it over and over again in the video, but for $299 or for $99 for that matter, I think there are enough devices in that range that perform significantly better than the Dell Aero that are worth a look. The HTC Aria, you know, even if you want to spend a little bit more money, the Captivate, the BlackBerry Torch, the iPhone, you know, several different devices within $100 range or so, and with the Aria even less, you know, that are significantly better than the Dell Aero in terms of functionality, in terms of newer software, in terms of hardware. So camera was pretty decent, but I just didn't care for the software. It's very laggy. The user interface doesn't help matters in terms of the lag, and the body's plasticky and a little bit cheap feeling on that front. So I think, you know, for $300 or for $100, depending on how you're spending your money or what contract you're getting, I think there are better options on AT&T, and, you know, especially on the other carriers as well. So more coverage to come on the Dell Aero on PhoneDog.com. In the meantime, head over to Facebook, our Facebook page at facebook.com/PhoneDog. Be sure to like us. Have a look out for our exclusive content as well, and be sure to follow me on Twitter, PhoneDog_Aaron. Hit me up with questions on the Dell Aero, and I'll do my best to answer those as quickly as I can. I'm Aaron. Thanks for watching. More coverage to come on the Dell Aero. Have a great day.